Good morning, ladies. Welcome to the Wire Life podcast. Very excited to have you here. We have Sandra and Mima. I'll let you guys introduce yourselves. Go ahead, please.
Good
And tell us.
morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Tell us a little bit about both of you. I'm very excited about this, not only because we've tried to get on the podcast several times and we have not been able to, but because of what you guys are doing, which is amazing. I know to me personally, you're both an inspiration. So I'm looking forward to this and learning from everything you're both going to share. So tell us a little bit about how you got into real estate, maybe a little bit about your background. I know some of you may have a little bit of real estate background. So go ahead.
Okay, good morning, ladies. My name is Mima, and my partner Sandra. We met through the RIN masterclass, and we talked to each other. We went one morning to have breakfast, and since there, we are partners. So it has been a very nurturing and very nice experience. We kind of are compatible, which is great. My background, I am a real estate agent since 7 years ago. And I have been always having part-time jobs because of the situation. So I have not done much. But when RIN came into my path, I thought this is something that I want to do. So I decided to take the courage and take the class. And I realized that that was another door that was opening for me. So that was very important. I think I can give some tips just because I'm a real estate agent, because I can see the transactions and also the market from a different point of view. Dealing with people when you are buying or selling is totally different. You need a little bit of knowledge about that. So I think that's something that I have been adding to our partnership.
Definitely, yes. My background is in interior design, architecture, and project management. So I was not completely away from, the building and real estate itself, but definitely investment has been a completely different world for me. My experience was the traditional way. I bought my first place in 2008. I lived there, kind of like house hacking, I guess, without knowing it. Right. So I was doing it the traditional way. I sold it, bought a new place in 2015, fixed it, sold it. I just love design. I just love going in there and improving everything. And I realized there must be a better way to do this without waiting 5 years. And that's when, Teresa came, and the rest is, our journey now. But I was very glad that we found each other. We live 20 minutes away from each other, and in the masterclass it was like thousands of people, right? So we decided, hey, Florida, okay, where are you? And partnerships has been something that we always, when we talk to someone, make a partner, make connections. We can get so much farther away when you are not alone. So
I agree. And I love to see this. I always tell the ladies that whenever we do a Zoom meeting, which I know you all support me when I do those, partner up for sure. I would partner for everything. I mean, your odds of succeeding are so much higher. So I'm actually very curious because this whole investing, I want to know a little bit more if there has been any event or hurdles or things that have come your way that you may want to share with the audience of what you've learned, some tips, anything that's helpful.
Yes, of course. I mean, we love definitely sharing, and people can learn through our experience. But yes, jumping into it, I mean, we were very determined to let's get in it. I mean, we are together 1 year today. We started January 2021.
Happy anniversary.
I'm sorry?
Happy anniversary.
Oh, thank you. Yes. So I mean, it's crazy to know 1 year, but we feel like we've done, so much, and there's so much more to come. But we jumped into it, and we decided to go into the flips together. So definitely there has been a lot of, learning experiences. We are finalizing one of our flips right now, which did not realize it was a complete renovation. And, everybody says, hey, for your first flip, try to do something that is not as big, you're getting into it, maybe lipstick flip, which we actually did one while the other one was getting done. So we got one, finished it up, sold it, and the other one was still ongoing.
So
So
go ahead. Tell us more. Like, how long have you had this last one? That sounds a little bit more complicated.
yes, it's 6 months is gonna be February 18th. So it has been, it's gonna be a little bit over 6 months. It's gonna get to the 7 month benchmark, which actually I'm in awe that we could even made it in 7 months, because for everything that we had to do to this property, it was roof, windows, plumbing, electrical,
Flooring.
the floors, everything. And we kind of jump into it a little too quick. We don't regret anything because we have learned so much, but we do encourage people to take your time, do all your inspections, have multiple people looking at, multiple contractors, because one person might tell you, oh yeah, I can get this done in a couple of weeks, which happened to us. But they just want to get the job, right? And once they're there, they're going to let you know like the reality. So have multiple people. Don't get pressed on like, hey, somebody tells you you have to close in 2 weeks. This is huge. I mean, this is a lot of money, that you're investing. So take your time. Don't feel pressure into jumping into something you're not 100% sure. But we, at the end of the day, we made it work. We are still working on it. And we have it not under contract. So
Very nice. Congrats.
It had been a long journey, and even though it's 6 months, it looks like 6 years, honestly, because the amount of situations that we have encountered through all this process is something that you never believe is going to happen, and that's the way you learn, I guess. When we did our first flip, and it was a little condominium that we found, we do marketing. And we found this little condominium, and it wasn't that bad. But something that we are very determined is that we ourselves try to do as much as I can, just because you want to learn and make sure that things are going to be, coming out right. But being saying that, it's hard to realize how many hours of labor basically you have to put in those properties. Because even if you have people coming and work for you, there are so many things that, and I don't want to say it in a bad way, but sometimes men, which mainly are the people that work for us, they don't realize, you know what I mean? They just see things like light. And then when you see the details, you say, why they don't think, why they don't do this, why they don't ask. So there are so many things that you need to put your hands on as a labor woman. And sometimes we talk to each other and we say, next time we are not going to do anything. And then we are doing the same things.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my biggest takeaway on what Mima is saying is that don't assume that because they're the experts, they're gonna do it the way you want to, right? So even though we got the tile and we kind of gave them the pattern that we wanted, they made the niche like 1 inch higher than where the break of the tile was, which will leave us with like a 1 inch of like piece of tile, which why will you do that, right? So the takeaway is like, don't assume, right? Just make sure that whatever you want, you have to have it in writing. Make your drawings. I mean, I have the design background, so I'm lucky to be able to have a AutoCAD drawing, something that I can print out and give it to them. But if you don't, then partner up with someone, find somebody that can actually do those drawings for you, because drawings will go, a long way just by directions and having to tell them, hey, this is how I want it. So there's a drawing, you understand it, you sign off on it, and there's no questions, right? So I think moving forward, when we're next, we're going to be a little bit more diligent, making sure that we have everything in writing, where the location of the switch, where the location of the light, like don't assume that if you tell them, hey, add 2, that they're going to center them into the room. You have to give them the exact location. Nothing goes, just assume, don't assume anything. Just make sure that you have everything in writing, everything accounted for. And the scope of work is huge. I cannot tell anyone how important it is to have the scope of work and the details about each thing. It's not enough that they say, I'm going to paint the walls. You're going to repair them, you're going to finish them, what level of finish it, and the paint, and then specify the type of paint you want. Think about every single detail, because if it's not in writing and if they didn't agree on, they're going to say it was not included, and you really don't want to go through that.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. That's very real. Let's break down a little bit. I'm not going to go into the numbers. That's maybe for a different episode, but I do want to go a little bit like, how'd you find the deal? Like what form of marketing do you guys mostly use? And where is it located? And is fixing and flipping your main strategy, or what's next?
Yeah, when we started, I think, wholesaling and fix and flips, we definitely want to do a little bit more of the lips and flicks right now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the idea.
The timing, with the timing, I know we were talking about that earlier, materials and the contractors and everything. So we want to just do we want to do more faster. So smaller flips, I think that's going to be our new target for this year. But yeah, let them know how we found that.
Actually, Sandra and I, before we partnered in this process, she had 2 wholesale transactions and I had 1. So that was really a good encourage to say, we can do it, we can make it, let's it happen. So we decided to go with marketing. So we bought a list, daily foreclosure for probate, and that's what we do. You realize, or for us, like everybody says, what works for us is more mailers than text or phone calls. Basically, that's what we have been doing in the past 8 months, and it works for us. Like everybody says, if you send 100 offers, probably you get 1 or none. We try to be consistent all the time, and that's what our main campaign, doing all the mailers for all these probate. Of course, you are always, looking at some other things. So we do also bandit signs. Sandra does it 100% of the time. I do it probably 40% because I'm by myself. So it's challenging to go at 2, 3 a.m. in the morning to put the bandit signs when you are alone by yourself. So she does that. But tell them about that.
You go, Sandra. You go. You know how I feel about the bandit signs.
I know, you gotta give it time, girl.
I know. I gotta get some encouragement and go do it again.
Yes. But I just started, really quick. I don't want to get into that a lot too much, but when I started investments, I had quit my job already. I kind of did it backwards, and so I had no income, and I was like, well, I need marketing, and I don't have the money back then for mailers, what we're doing now, because those can be up there. And I said, what is the less expensive way to do it? And I have the time, I don't have the money, let's go with bandit signs. And I just started, I got the smaller ones, like the less expensive ones, and the 12 by 18. And I got them, like my first batch of 200 were the ones that you have to handwrite your phone number. So I did the whole thing. I did the labor, I did the everything.
All right. So what area is your property on? Like, where are you? Are you in Florida exactly, for those that are listening?
Yeah, we're in South Florida. So we both live, what is it, like about an hour from north of Miami. I think Miami is like, people know Miami. So we're like an hour and a half north. Property is probably about 2 hours north of that. So it's a Lake Worth area. And
it's in Palm Beach County. Actually, the 2 properties that we have had, they are in Palm Beach County. And the little condominium, first we found it on the marketing, but the second one, Sandra called me one day and she says, I found this house from a wholesaler.
It's a wholesaler. Yeah, it was a wholesaler. And I get wholesaling properties all day long, every day since I joined the network, and most of them are the prices are way too high. What caught my attention about this particular property was the location was great. It was east of federal highways. It's very close to the beach. It's about like 2 miles from the beach. It was about 2 blocks from a historic district. It was about a couple blocks from downtown area. So it's like a prime location, number one. There was no association, which they're very sought after houses
Wow.
here that are single family houses with no association. People want them.
Mhm.
And and it was, you know, it was, the lot was 5,000 square feet. So we had possibilities for it. So all of those check marks were like done for me. And I was like, this seems good. They were claiming the ARV was 380. And I was doing my numbers and I was like, I think it's like 450. It's like, I don't think these people know that what they have here, you know, and sometimes you find that rare thing. So we got together, she's a real estate agent. We look at the ARV, we're like, the numbers, if we can stay within budget, these numbers do make sense. So that's what we decided to move forward with, that, you know, wholesaler, and then get the property.
Very nice. Congratulations again. So tell us, how are you funding these deals? You guys got big pockets, or what's going on?
All the money. I wish, right?
Yeah, we wish that's what we are working for.
That's right. That's right. That's the
I also,
vision.
combination of hard money lending and private money lending. So the big reno one, we did a hard money lender for the purchase price. I think it was like 80% of the purchase price and 70% of the renovation. And then we got a private money lender to fund the gap for the purchase price, the gap for the rehab and closing costs, and some of the carrying costs. So all of that. And we did ended up funding some of our own money because we ended up coming a little bit short on the rehab portion of it. So we did fund the rest of our money for the rehab portion of it.
You guys go. I mean, this is very brave, and I'm telling you from how I see it, that you know, we've been through the training together, and I've done a couple wholesale deals myself, and I've been holding back on the fix and flip because of all the stuff you guys just mentioned, right? But this is so encouraging that it can be done, that, you know, especially people that I know in person. And I know for all the ladies listening, you know, they've seen you in the group, they've heard you. So the fact that you can share all of this with them, it's amazing. Good for you guys. I'm very happy.
One thing that I want to add is that once you are in the situation like Sandra and I, with this huge house that we were not thinking that was going to be so challenging, is that once you have it, there is no turning back point. You need to move forward. It doesn't matter how fast, how slow, how difficult, it doesn't matter. You need to make it happen. And something about us, and I really love about this, is that we encourage each other, and we are, come on, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it, let's do that. Sometimes we have so many things in our hands. Sandra always says, okay, hold on. Go slowly, because I am more, how you say that? I want things to go faster. She's more like calm. But at the end of the day, we both agree that we had to make it happen. It doesn't matter what is going to happen and what the result is going to be. We learned a lot. For sure, we made a lot of mistakes. And probably we should talk about those little mistakes that we have.
Of course. But yes, before we dive into the mistakes, I do, which, you know what, let's not call it mistakes, learning process, right? It's
learning
a learning process. You know, at some point we said to each other, listen, if these flip all, if we could just break even and have the experience, have the actual education, hands-on, doing a whole renovation, hey, bring it on, you know? So I do encourage people, like, what is the worst that can happen? Of course, you don't want to lose money. I get that. We don't want to lose money. But if you're in a situation where it's like, hey, I'm only going to make this amount, I know we all want to make the big profits, and that's the goal for everyone. But if you're just starting and you want to learn the process and you want to get it started, and if you're not going to make a huge profit, but you see the potential that, hey, I'm going to learn through this whole thing, take that as a learning experience. You pay for education, you pay for a mentorship. This is like as if you're doing it, but you are actually, you know, inside the house, seeing what's happening. I can not stress enough how much of these we're going to take to our next project, and how much this is going to help us, not only understanding what we could have done better, but understanding construction itself. You know, me coming from a design background and architecture background, I didn't know a lot of these things. And now we can say, like, oh, you need one line for a dishwasher. I know how long it takes. I know what you need. So don't come and tell me it's gonna cost you X amount of money.
I love
Those
that.
are things, those are things you're gonna have forever. Like that valuable information, nobody's gonna take away. Is so good. I mean, and we are standing in front of the trades. Show me, what exactly are you doing? Why are you doing that? Like, we're learning so much.
Amazing. I love it. I love it. Did you want to jump into the mistakes or not yet?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Learning curve.
The
Yeah,
learning,
the learning
learning
experience.
parts of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
One thing that I mentioned to Sandra, because we have seen in other properties that we got offers, believe it or not, Florida is a very expensive state. So some of those probate properties, they are $2.8 million, $1.9 million. And we think, okay, we are not there yet. But we have seen different, because we want to analyze any single property that comes to our hands and see what can we learn from there. But what we have learned is that if the house is too old, you need to know that you have to do everything. That's our first learning experience, I guess.
I think plumbing,
Everything.
yes. Like if it is this house from 1950 and nothing was ever done, nothing was ever upgraded. So electrical and plumbing were like the huge things that really affected our budget, affected our numbers at the end of the day, that we did not thought about really. And those are like underground cast iron pipes that had to be completely changed to PVC lines. And we were like, no. But those are things that we had to do. Like another thing is we made some choices, but because it's our name, our branding, we don't want to put something out there on the market that is going to just, a month from now it's not going to be right. So we went through the right channels. We went through, the city. We got exactly what we needed to do. We wanted to make it right, and that's something I do encourage. Don't cut corners. Just make sure you're going to do it. Just do it right. Just do it right. It's going to cost you more money, but yeah, learning experience for sure. If you're buying an older house, assume that you have to replace completely electrical, completely a plumbing. I mean, those two were like probably 10,000 each alone.
Yeah, and some other things that you never think about that is that when they came to install the air conditioning, we realized that all the structure or most of the structure of the roof had rotten wood, and at the end of the day, it had termites. So that was another cost. We needed to treat it for termites, and those things you don't realize, but it happens.
Yeah, and even though like, okay, we kind of like knew how much the term was, because I think it was like, a couple $1,000s, which was not, it was big, but it was not the end of it. We didn't realize how much we had to replace. So that's key, right? Hey, somebody tells you, hey, termites, oh, you can tend the property and that's no problem. You can get it away with $1,500 to $1,000, depending on the size. But how much damage have they done? And that's crucial, because that you don't know unless you start opening walls, unless you start opening your ceiling and you actually see all of the wood that you have to replace. So those unseen things, so just be very aware of like one thing can lead to another one, right? So it's just not the one thing, it's more than that.
Oh my God. Anything else? I mean, these are great tips, honestly, even for me that I want to jump in and just do it. This is amazing and invaluable information that and very real, like updated information.
We had another experience, and it was that we went to BrandsMart to buy all our appliances with ahead of time. And then they have it back then in August on inventory, and they said, okay, we're going to deliver tomorrow. And I was telling Sandra, we cannot deliver those appliances in a house that is going to be under construction with the risk that somebody can come and take them. So we decide not to. So they have been delivering little by little. Still, we are waiting for the dishwasher and the fridge. But one thing that you don't realize is that when you buy appliances, I don't know if everywhere, but at least in BrandsMart, when we're going to connect them, they come with nothing. nothing. So then we have to go back to the store and buy all the water lines and all the electrical wires, everything. They give you nothing. So there you are ready to proceed, and then go back again to the store. And you don't think about that, but it's
I definitely
magical.
don't. I
Yeah,
thought it would come with everything.
you will think they're gonna give you everything you need. They don't. So that's one. But also what you were talking about, as far as that, we thought we were being proactive by buying it way ahead of time. But the reality was that they were not holding it for us. They were releasing them as people needed them. So whenever we were ready for them, they were sold out, and they were back order. So it was like, what do we do? So I will just encourage people, like, if you're trying to be proactive, ask the question, can you hold them for me? I am not ready. The property won't be ready for like 3 months, but I need them in 3 months. I don't want to, I'm paying you now for you to hold them. So figure it out a way that the store, and I think if we would have understand that that was going to happen, then we could have like talked to someone and say, hey, we're willing to pay now in full. We just don't want them delivered right now. But you know, we don't have a fridge right now. And we sold the property without a fridge. So great. But you know, it would have been nice to have everything there by now.
And how true, since I mean, it's out of it's not a question, it's just I just thought about this. How long are windows taking? Is it really taking that long, like 8 to 12 weeks or something?
So we knew Windows was going to be the one thing that was going to take the longest. And the week after, so we put ourselves, I mean, we have so many Excel sheets that it will drive everyone crazy, but I'm like an Excel sheet like maniac. But we kind of decided for everything that we're going to do, we're going to get 3 quotes before we decide to move forward with someone. So we did that. We had like an Excel sheet, you know, like we have something for roofing, we have windows, we have every single vendor, we had something different, and we both were reaching out to different people, calling them, was your lead time, you know, the price, of course, was your warranty, and just comparing every single one of them. We went with the one that told us we can get windows in 8 weeks, when everyone else told us 12 to 14.
Yeah.
We believed them. So we went ahead and we did that 1 week after we closed back in August, thinking like, hey, plenty time. Our hard money lender and private money lender is for 6 months. We're good, right? 8 weeks, we're good. Well, no, it actually ended up being more than closer to 12 to 14 weeks, I think.
Like 12
right?
weeks, but at the end of the day, when they delivered the windows, one was broken and the other one was white, and all of them were brown. So still we had to wait for them to replace the broken one and to change the white one.
Yeah,
so,
they couldn't give us a final inspection, like it wouldn't pass final inspection because of the broken window. So they literally installed those last week. Yeah.
Last week. So it was almost 6 months.
This is the real deal right here. This is what goes on behind the scenes.
This is what happens, right? So yeah, definitely it's allowed more time. So if they tell you, you know, if they tell you 3 months, just add an extra 1 or 2. Just never cut yourself exactly to what they're telling you, because you have to allow for room. You know, things are going to happen. It's not going to go perfect. So things are going to happen, and you have to have enough time for all of that.
Okay, so I know you touched briefly on how you kind of keep yourself accountable. I guess all those Excel sheets.
Sandra is the expert on that. She's the one that puts the most work on those Excel sheets. And it's funny because our first property, we bought it under my corporate name, but this one is hers. So of course I want to give her the space, because, you know, all those numbers at the end of the day is gonna be direct, you know, attached to her corporate. So that's, and when I had mine, she gave me, because she managed the money, and on mine, I managed the money. So, you know, it's a situation where you don't want to push too much, because at the end of the day, the numbers are going to be whatever it is. But it's important to have, you know, clear on that. So that's why she has put in so much work in this property, because they are everything. We have to do everything. So yeah, that's something that it was very important to
Another
Now,
thing,
yeah,
I'm
go,
sorry,
go. No, please, I
I
will
just
never want to interrupt whatever. Good
no, I just wanted to
information.
share, like, one of my fellow investor as well recommended this my next 90 days, and I love a planner like this. It allows you to make goals weekly, and it just allows you to really write down what is important that you need to accomplish for that one week. It just breaks everything down. So it has been very helpful for me to know, like, what do we need to get done this week? Okay, like we set our goals that way, right? It's like this week we have to find somebody to do the landscaping. We have to find, we have to buy the paint for this. We have to do this. There's the only way we can do that is the Excel sheets. Then bring that into actions and set yourself dates, block your time. And, it's like, we talk to each other almost every day, telling like, okay, what day are you available? When can we go here? If I can, you go. If you cannot go, I go. So we've done so much. We've done everything. I mean, things that we probably will never want to do again. We went to a dumpster for the first time. I mean, that was
disgusting.
But
Believe it or not, we throw in that dumpster 1 ton of garbage. 1 ton. We pay for 1 ton of garbage.
well, let's tell the story. I think this is a very, very good, quick story. How we got into that and why did we do it ourselves, right? Because we are always and I'm learning who, not how. So, I mean, this is completely opposite of that. But we decided, I'm going to bring you back a little bit because that's a very good learning thing here. Our lending was 6 months because that's what we thought it was going to take, right? Hard money lender and private money lender was 6 months. As you can see right now, 6 months will be in 17 days. So that's not going to happen. We had to extend. So number one, understand your extension terms. So important to understand your extension terms, because you don't think about those things when you are, hey, I'm going to get this done in 3 months. I'm not thinking about what my extension terms are for after 6 months, right? Number one should be, don't do it for 6 months. Especially if it's a complete gut, do a 9-month loan. 1-year loan is better to have more time than to run away of time. Very, very important. Second, understand what your extension terms are, or you have to pay more points. Most of them will ask you for more points in addition to for the whole loan. And that could be a lot of money, right? We had some extension fees that we had to pay because we had to extend our loan. There was just no way around that. And so we decided, without a fridge, without a dishwasher, without our deck outside being done, everything in the inside was pretty much 95% complete. Yeah, we just had like minor things to do. We decided to put it for sale by owner, right? We went on a site, we just Facebook marketplace, we did for sale by owner, realtor.com. I didn't even have nice pictures from the inside because it was just dirty. Like, we haven't even cleaned up. We literally had 3 pictures of the outside and 1 floor plan. We had a very nice floor plan of everything that we had done into the house. Same day, we get a phone call from a real estate agent. She has a buyer. They've been wanting to buy in Lake Worth. Every offer they have put out, they have been outbid. They want to see it today. And I was like, impossible. Like, she doesn't get it. There's nothing to see right now. So I was like, I'm so sorry. I said, I just posted this today. We're not really ready. My cleaning crew is coming tomorrow.
You're looking at the cleaning crew.
And she goes, oh, then that's fine, tomorrow afternoon. And then at this point, I saw that she was like, she needs this. She needs to see it. They're coming all the way from Miami. They're committed. They're ready. I called her and I was like, tomorrow, 7 a.m. in the morning, we're there with a truck. We're picking up all the trash, and we're doing this ourselves because we have a showing at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And she goes like, okay, we go, we brought a helper with us. 1 ton of garbage came out of the backyard and the inside of the house. It was just like boxes. Every trade was leaving boxes out there. We have papers that were broken. We have like pieces of fence that we had to repair. It was just everything that you can think of, just trash. we got a first time in our lives doing this. We went and figured out a way. We first called a few people here and there, and they were like, oh, we can schedule you for 2 days from now. And I'm like, no, we need it now. So we're like, I guess we have to do it.
Well, and they were charging us like $800,
$600,
$600, and we were already over budget. And we say,
no, we don't have,
nope.
we can't. So the only way was, let's set ourselves. Long story short, we did it, dumped the trash, came back, clean it up, paint a few things here and there. Until like 6:30, we were doing that. 7:00, they come in, and she loved the house. Oh my God, I cannot tell you how much she was in love with the house. We were trying to tell her, hey, we're gonna do a little deck here, so it's not gonna look like this, because it looked horrible, the back. The pavers are all broken, but we're gonna elevate a structure to make it just one level. And she's like, okay. She walks around and she's asking a few questions here or there, but she sees that everything was like done. I mean, the little details, right? She loved the backsplash, the upgraded quartz. It's like those little things. And I think she saw us and she was like, it was a different feeling. It's like, you guys are the owners, you guys are the one doing the renovations, like so cool. And she was like, so just amazed of everything. I mean, even just our hardware was like an upgraded way. It was not just your cheapest, hardware in there. It was like a nice thing, because we put these, which bring you back to the numbers. We thought it was going to be an ARV of 450. The wholesaler thought it was going to be 380. We put it for sale for 485. So
yeah, and she loved also all the details, the decoration, the flooring in the bathroom, and all the walls, and
barn door,
vanities, everything. And it's funny because when Sandra and I go shopping, it's so easy. It's so easy. We have ever have any discussion about, I don't want this. It's all the way around. I say, I like this, and she's, and then sometimes she says, what about this? But at the end of the day,
something. Yeah, she loved the finishes. We were, and that's something you also want to do. I mean, depending of the pricing that you're having the house, but in the high fours, people are going to expect a little bit more than just your regular standard things, right? So do a splurge in a nice quartz for your kitchen. Do not put like a cheap granite in there. Do a splurge and maybe a fun tile in the guest bathroom. Our guest bathroom has a fun tile, like gray, black, but you can get away because it's a smaller space. We did a barn door for the bedroom, so that just brings character. Is a little bit different. You want to stand out. Don't do like what everybody else is doing, especially if you want to get that extra price, the extra amount. You have to show them what they're paying for. And those details are the ones that sometimes are going to make the difference.
Beautiful.
Yeah, for instance, when we were going to install the backsplash in the kitchen, I went all the way down to Miami because we wanted to make sure that our quartz for the countertop was what we wanted. So I took all the trip to Miami, and we chose it. So when we have everything set up, I was telling Sandra, I don't like now that backsplash. And she was, are you kidding me? And I said, nope. And we had it already. We had the house. And I said, no, I don't want it. I think we have to. So we went one afternoon and we brought to the house like 26 samples of backsplash. But at the end of the day, it was a good thing to do. It was worth it. It came out beautiful.
Out of curiosity, because I know you guys posted some in the WhatsApp group. What did you end up picking? Just because
it was the chevron one. Everybody picked that. And that was like the majority vote was the chevron pattern one that it picked up the white, it picked up the brown from the floor. It's
very classy.
It just worked. And it was something that we thought, most people are going to gravitate to that one. And that's also another thing, like, don't be afraid. Hey, you have a group of people that, they are investors too. Like ask, hey.
Thank you for sharing and asking us. I was very excited.
Yeah, we love doing that because, at the end of the day, it's not about what I like, what she likes. It's about like what the majority of people will find that it works, with a place. So just to bring you back with that story, we got a full asking price offer the same night.
Yeah, the same night, they sent the offer, but we were missing some. We were very excited, of course. And I said, Sandra, wait. we need proof of funds, and we need the pre-approval letter. As a real estate agent, those are things that are, I mean, not negotiable. And then she says, okay, and let's just, realize that, because their fear was that we were going to show more the house or accept more offers. So they were asking us, if we present an offer, would you keep the house for us? And I said, well, if it is the offer that we are looking for, yeah, definitely, we are not going to show it. And
Yeah.
we did. We have not been showing it to
Yeah,
anybody.
we said, if make us an offers we cannot, refuse. And and they actually, the realtor brought her commission down to 2%. So we saved right there another 2% because
Yeah.
we were posting it for more. Another thing was, and this might be very crucial for someone in our situation, where we needed those numbers to be up there because of the extra money that we put into it. So even though we didn't know about the appraised value, I mean, our comps show a 450 ARV from the beginning. Yeah. So what did we do in order to be smart about the whole process? We don't want to go into a closing, have someone finance the property, get a bank appraisal, and then back out of the purchase price, right? So what we decided to do is that we spend money on an appraisal, like a third-party appraisal, and we want to know what a bank will appraise this property. And that was crucial information to us to understand how we're going to accept those offers coming in, because we don't have the luxury of time at this point. A day after our next month is more money that we have to put out, right? We don't have that. So we did an appraisal came at 455, but everybody understands how the market is. People are offering over asking price, but when they did offer our price, which was 485, we told them about is this contingency to appraisal. A lot of people right now coming to Florida are willing to put money out of pocket, even for more money than what it will appraise. Our contract states that they will put up to $35,000 more than the appraised value, which was for us crucial to accept this offer, because if the appraisal comes like what we already have at 455, and if they're willing to put at least 35,000, we have no problem going through closing at a 485 purchase price. So understanding that and having just make sure any obstacles that you can think of, we just like make sure, because now we are more confident that there's nothing that could happen that this closing won't go through.
Yeah.
Another thing is the home inspection, right? What are the things that can make that deal go sideways? Home inspection appraisals. So for home inspections, we already have an idea, right? On our previous property, our home inspection came up with mold. And this house, we had no idea that there was going to be mold in it. So we already have a connection with a mold remediation company, and we brought him to this new property and say, hey, we're selling this house. If they do a test, we want to make sure we're clear. We don't know if there's mold or not, and we don't have the time to make a test and do this whole thing. What can you do to make sure that if they do any test, you cannot see any mold, but if there is anything, how can you help us? They did a full clean duct for the AC. He says most of the time, if there is any mold activity, or if there was at some point in the property, I mean, these properties are from the 1950s, you never know what could have happened. There's usually around the AC. So we got a fogging, we got cleaning, we got remediation for mold, just in case. So we pay for that before a home inspection will happen, just to make sure that nothing will come up in the home inspection.
Very proactive. I love, your partnership, the way you guys are, everything you've done. I mean, really, it's an example just of pure braveness. I love it. I'm speechless.
Thank you.
So now I know it's been all work. What about personal? What do you guys do for fun or for spiritual, or I don't know, just the other side of you, right?
Well, I am a single mom. I have my family, and I do, regular stuff. I like to do fishing and boating and getting together with friends, play cards. One thing that is funny is that we really never do those things together, I guess.
I just realized that we
Yeah,
don't hang out.
Never. I don't know, for not a specific reason, but that's what I like to do. And I am very active. I am not a TV person, so I am always looking for things to do. And by the way, ladies, forget about our outfits, but after this, we need to go and paint the driveway.
Yes.
So we are getting ready just to leave and do
Yeah,
our homework for today.
that's true. I just thought about that. We have never hang out like on a weekend just to like, hey, let's just, girls' day. So sad. We need to do that. What I love traveling. I mean, traveling has always been, a passion of mine. And my brother used to live in Europe before, and when he moved there, I told myself every year I'm going to go to a different country. And I did it up to 2020 when the whole pandemic happened. And then I just couldn't travel anymore. I have family in Peru, so I love going back home to visit my family. So just traveling is something that I just love, love, love doing. I need to do more of that. And I love outdoors. I love the beach, I love just to be close to nature. Yoga. I love me some yoga as well. It just helps me, meditate and all of that. So yeah.
Very nice. Thank you for sharing. I know we talk so much about work, and that other side of us kind of gets neglected sometimes.
I know. Look at us. Just realizing we have never like hang out for 1 year that we know each other.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a lot of reasons to celebrate, so I'm sure you'll be hanging out soon.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I always like to ask our guests if there's any particular book or books that you guys like to recommend to our audience. Well, we're all big readers and we're always sharing. So just curious if there's anything in particular.
So many, but there's one book that it was not even related to real estate that has always stayed with me. It's called The Big Leap. And I read it a couple of years ago, which I have to reread it again. But it was so powerful to me that I bought copies, like hard copies for just family members. And I remember giving it to my mom and to my brother. I'm like, you have to read this book. So it was an awesome, awesome book. It Rich Dad Poor Dad was one of the main books that got me started into real estate. Like I read that book 1 year ago before getting into Teresa's mentorship, and that's the book that got me like excited about investments. So of course it has to be one that I have to recommend. And The Morning Miracle, I mean, that one I read at the end of last year and it started this year. I'm like, I have to, like, this just makes so much sense. Start your day earlier, just meditate, take some time for yourself. Do those things that will bring you, better peace throughout the day. So those are it for me.
Well, the last one that I read was You Are a Badass. And when you go through that book, you realize how much power we have. We just need to realize that life, like you say, is not work, but also, put some effort in become a better human being. And I think that book will give you that strength and the knowledge to think that you are very powerful, and we are very empowered women.
I know that shows. It really does. And your energy, I love your energy. And that is absolutely a wonderful book. I love how straightforward it is. There's no, no cookie cutter with that book. It's
Yeah.
a book. And the same with Sandra's. All of those are great books. So now we always like to leave the audience with a challenge. All right. All right. So it could be 2 challenges this time because you guys could have different ideas. So what do you want to challenge? And I include myself all the time in this, so I love it. What do you guys want to leave the audience with? What type of challenge?
Okay. I'm gonna give it, let's see, I don't know, challenge. There's this one thing that I don't remember where I read it or heard it from, but we all, if you make vision boards or if you write goals, that's great and that's amazing. And and if you don't do it. But the challenge here is that it's not only a vision, right? It should be like an action board. And if you do already have one, or if you are not and you're going to do, I do challenge you to break whatever goals you have or whatever things you want to do into action plans. Action things. Just write a list of everything as an action. What do I have to do to achieve that? It's just not enough to say, I want to get one wholesale deal. Do what actions? Do I need to do my marketing? Do I need to buy some bandit signs? Do I need to set up some time to go drive for dollars? Actions. And every day ask yourself, have I done something that is getting me closer to that action? You might not have to do it, but are you doing something, something, even if it's just small, to get you closer to that action that will lead you to that goal, right? There's steps, and it's just not, it doesn't have to be like a huge jump. It's just the steps in order to get you there. So I do challenge people to think that way in actions, and ask yourself every day, what are you doing to get you closer to that?
Thank you. That's awesome. How about you, Mima?
Well, I have to say that all this process is challenging. And for me, learn. It's really the basis of being a better real estate investor. I hear a lot of podcasts, and like Sandra said, sometimes you get confused, sometimes you get overwhelmed, sometimes you say, well, she said that this worked for her, this worked for her. And at the end of the day, like everybody says, not everything works for everybody. But what is important is, okay, if my goal is that, what do I have to do? What are the steps? How many phone calls? How many? And sometimes you get discouraged, because the results in this business is not immediate. There is not something that is going to happen overnight. So try to be focused in that part. It's challenging. I applied the 5-second rule. I don't know if anybody knows about that, but so many times I find myself with so many thoughts on my brain that I cannot quiet it. I cannot see exactly where is the path, what do I have to do, where do I have to go.
Sorry, guys.
But I have been applying that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, take action, do something different, put another idea in your head, drive yourself in a different
I love that. Now that you actually mentioned that, I want to share something real quick before we go and we let people know how they can find you and follow you on social media. I was actually just doing a Tony Robbins event that's for free. He just put it up there, but it's kind of the same thing. I love how he mentions, I command my unconscious mind to be here and now, and because we do have literally so many things in our mind floating around, and we just need to be present. And what do I need to do now, today, or this week, like Sandra was mentioning. So I love it. Thank you for sharing. I mean, it has been nothing but short from amazing. I don't even have the words to describe. And thank you, ladies, for being here and for sharing everything. I know to me, it has been invaluable information. Could you tell our audience how they can find you, where to follow you, and feel free to share any personal information about how they can reach you?
Yeah, sure. My Instagram is paola.investment.group. And yeah, I try to be pretty active on Instagram, same name for Facebook. And then, maybe soon to come some videos in YouTube. We'll see.
Well, mine, I have my Facebook page where I have everything posted there because I'm a real estate agent. So all my information is there, all my phone numbers, my email address, even my webpage. I have a very nice webpage. So best way to go is just my Facebook, which is Mima Duque.
All right. Thank you, ladies. It really has been an honor to have you. Have a wonderful day. I hope everything goes well. Good luck with the project. And we do want to include for the YouTube channel, like a little video or some picture, whatever you guys have that we can.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, we're going to take a video today.
Yeah.
So
thank you, Rosie.
Thank you so
care.
much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Bye, ladies. Good luck.
Bye.